Hello, my name's Katie and welcome to my shed. Thank you for coming along. If this is your first time here, my name's Katie. I am a mixed media artist who comes in my shed on all my days off from my proper job, and when I'm in here I tend to paint wildlife and landscape based art, and mainly having a go and messing around. I don't really know all the rules, I don't know all the theory, but I like to have a bit of fun and I'm learning. So you might pick up a few hints and tips, but generally if you're here for the ride just to see what I do. I have a little shed in my garden. I live in Suffolk in England, and my little shed it's meant to be an 8x8, but it's got the corner cut off, so it's smaller than an 8x8 shed, so it's very little, and that's feet, not meters. What else do you need to know about me? I've got a bit of a problem that I can't stop buying stuff, and I wasn't going to buy anything, and then I have bought something, but I haven't bought much. In one of my previous lives, I ran art workshops with my friend Louise, and we have just stopped doing that and we've split up the art supplies. And what I wanted to do is go back in time to when I was sorting out those paints. So I'm going to go back in time a little bit. We're going to sort out those paints together, and then we're going to come back to now, because I filmed it when I was doing the preparing for my holiday video, and then I realised it wasn't really relevant and it made the video quite long. So you're going to be watching me get ready for holiday, but not really, because I've taken it out and I've been on holiday and I'm back now. So that's really long-winded and waffly. This is the paints that you're going to see me sort out. I have already got quite a lot of watercolour paints, but these are the extra ones. So let's go and watch those bits now, and then we'll come back to today, because I'm getting confused. So you're probably getting even more confused. But I have also got these, well, these ones aren't, these are the medium watercolours we swatched out before. These are workshop watercolours that Lou and I have split, so I need to have a look through those, because I've got some half pans, so I maybe make a little palette using those and some other colours. So these are the workshop paints, and Lou and I just split them. There wasn't a whole lot of thought into what I needed or what she needed when we did it. That's mine anyway, I've just put that in there because that's loose. But these are my spare reds. I just want to see if I've got any that, so I've got some space here, which of these I need. So I will do some swatching. You don't have to stay and watch that if you don't want to, but I'm gonna just quickly do it here so that I then know what to put in these gaps here. Although, to be fair, I could probably get them all in, couldn't I? Thought of redoing these swatch cards fills me with dread. That one doesn't really want to go in there, but okay, let's just have a little look at the colours. And feel free to fast forward. Some of them are split, they're not all the best quality paints. So this one's Daniel Smith Pyrrole Scarlet. Is a lovely colour, but the paint has split a little bit. Probably the closest thing I've got to that at the moment is the Cadmium Red Light, the Rosa Gallery one. Then we've got the Quin Rose. Again, it's split quite a lot. Nonetheless, it is pretty delicious. These are in crimson. This one, I don't even know if it's, might have just dried up. Yeah, it's probably dampen into the tube, but whether I can get any into a pan or not is unlikely. Yeah, that one's... Which one is dead? I'll be able to use it here, but I'm not going to be able to get that into a pan. And then the other one is the Winsor Newton Cobalt Violet. I could probably go with my blues, but I have got a purple. But this one, I don't know, it feels more of a pink, doesn't it? What do you think? Okay, we've got, I think some of these I've already put in, haven't we? I've put the Queen Gold in already. So I've got New Gamboge, that's not in there. I don't have Naples Yellow. I've got Raw Sienna. I've got a Raw Sienna already. I mean, I could do another one, but I probably won't. Naples Yellow. Okay, which one should we use? Another Gamboge, and done that one too. Let's have a look. What can we fit in here? Could possibly get them all in, if I'm honest. No, I can't. Right, let's swatch them out and make a decision. Okay, so that's those ones. I can no longer have more. Right, let's see what we've got. So I've got a Davies Grey. I've got two Davies Grey, I think. Where's the other one? Davies Grey there. Both Winsor Newton. Raw Umber. Dropping everything. Queen Gold I've actually is in my yellows. I haven't got any space in there anyway, but that one is a bit crusty. I've already got my burnt sienna in up there, the whole one. I think I'll get all these in. I'm kind of getting bored of this, but we're nearly there. So I've got a cobalt blue rosa. I don't know that I've got. No, I have over there, so we don't need that one. Cerulean blue chromium, I haven't got that. Windsor blue, don't have that. There's a lot of colour, I don't know why I've got two cobalt blues. That one I've put in already, that one I've put in already. I decided to put all these in, let's see what greens there are. Sap green, green gold. I don't know why yellow ochre sitting there instead of with the yellows. Cobalt green and ochre's green. How was that? Seems like only a second ago that I was talking to you. I forgot to say in my intro, it's still really hot. Normally in the school summer holidays, we get rain and clouds the whole time. But in England, it's just been like one long heat wave for maybe 2 months now, and it's getting really boring. The landscape has suffered massively. We've had wildfires, which is just not, that just doesn't happen in England until this year. So it's been a bit of a rough summer so far, and every time I open my door, it kind of tries to blow off its hinges, so I have to keep shutting the door and opening the door, and it's quite sweaty in here. Oh, and if you're new here, it can be sweaty as anything in this room, but it still doesn't get any natural daylight, so I still have to put the light on. So yeah, make of that what you will. What I'm going to do rather is, I watched a video yesterday by a YouTuber called Helen Cryer. So if you haven't watched her, please do. She does a lot of swatching out type videos and playing with different art materials, and she's got the nicest, most soothing voice, so she's great to watch when you're trying to relax. Anyway, that sounds creepy. I don't mean it in a creepy way. What I was about to say was, on the video this week, she talked about how she organises her swatches, and I'm going to copy it. Not today, because I haven't got the stuff, and I think it would make a really long video. But what she does is she's got a folder, like a trading card, like Pokemon card type folder, and she makes little swatch cards, and then she's organised the swatch cards by colour, and she writes on them what pigments they are and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to copy that and do that at some point. Once it's done, I'll show you. I just feel like it would probably take me a couple of days to do, so the video would be really long. I mean, I might film it. That's the sort of video I would like to watch, so maybe other people would like to watch it. I don't know. What I forgot to say in the intro is, on top of those ones that from the art workshops, I don't know if you remember, a couple of weeks back I did a giveaway of some pencils that I had that were surplus to requirements, and the winner of that was a lady called Wendy, and so I sent them out to her, and then she contacted me and said, we were talking about different paints. Anyway, I have never tried the Schmincke watercolours, and she was kind enough to offer to do me a little dot card So we're going to swatch these out today, and there's a combination of the Schmincke Horadam Aquarelle ones at the top, and then at the bottom there's some of the super granulating ones. So we're going to try those out. I'm quite excited because to try a brand I've never tried before. Let's hope it doesn't unlock a new thing that I need to buy all of them for. But she also sent me some stickers which were amazing, and I've put on my laptop, and a little card. So it got me thinking, I would really love to set up some kind of like an exchange program where we send out dot cards to each other, because they're super easy to mail out, and I just think it'd be a fun way to try new products. So if anybody wants to do that, let me know in the chat and we'll see what we can sort out. I don't know that any of us are serial killers, so hopefully we won't mind giving out our addresses and things. But if you are a serial killer, please don't apply to join the swatch card fun, because that would be bad, wouldn't it? So we're going to swatch these out today. Sorry, I'm getting distracted and making myself giggle, which I haven't done for a little while. The other thing is, when I was on holiday last week, if you watched that video or haven't watched that, please go back. I was doing some plein air work, just little sketches, and I then watched a few videos of other people painting outside, and a lot of them use the big acrylic markers for getting down some flat colour to work on top of, and I thought that is what I needed. Now, before I go and spend a load of money on them, I thought I'd find some that weren't as expensive, and I happen to be in the range. So if you're not in the UK, the range is like a budget homeware and crafts, and kind of sells a bit of everything. Anyway, they had these ones, and these are Decotime, and they were only $3.99 for these, and they're acrylic markers, so I should be able to work over them. But I figured for that price, if I don't love them, or I can't work over them, or they don't last very long, it doesn't really matter, because most of the other ones I've looked at are about a tenner each, and I very nearly, in fact there probably is one sitting in my basket for Jackson's as we speak. Okay, let's start with these. I have watched lots of videos about nice acrylic markers. Surprisingly, nobody was using these cheapy ones, so they're probably not very good. Let's start with the yellow one. They're just called big acrylic markers. They've got quite a chunky tip. I think they're 10mm. So to get any of these markers to work, you have to pump them for a little while. The colour's starting to come through now. They had a few different sets. They had like one with primaries, this one, and there was another one. There was 3 sets. I thought this one would have the best colours, because I'm going to be painting over them. But actually pastels might be the best bit. Okay, they're quite thin. You get some fairly decent lines on. Quite like just those marks, those big fat marks. Right, let's lay down a bit of colour so we can work over it. And then we'll do the blue. I might see if I can, that's my kind of blue, that is. You can get some remarkably fine lines with it. It's taking a little while to dry. Here it comes. Now I don't use a lot of pink, so I can't imagine this one's going to get used too much. It's quite a nice colour as well though. Really doesn't feel like there's much ink in these. So it's still really wet. While these are drying, I'm just going to try and see what happens when I mix a few of the colours. Sorry, right, while I was away, I found a new favourite pencil, and that was this, the Supracolor 2 Soft by Caran d'Ache. It's like a watercolour pencil, but I really loved it because it was so soft. Actually, it's in the name. Okay, we've got a few selections here. We've got some luminance, we've got a colour soft, a light fast, a polychromo and an Inktense. So let's just have a little, see how they go. I didn't really like the way the Inktense went on. It's kind of felt sticky over the top, and I'm just going to try it with my Pitt graphite matte. Oh, that's nice over the top. Well, that's quite interesting, isn't it? What I want to do is just try some watercolour over the top, because the whole point, you know, I want to try and work over them. I'm just going to use what's open, which is my blues and greens. Okay, I think that's remarkably good. A bit weird up the top there, but let's get some wash. Let's go bright, because why not? Marigold, one of my favourites. Again, it's kind of not going over the top of that very well, it's splitting. Odd that the watercolour seems to have gone over it better than the gouache over here. Yes, I like that. I don't know what's happening round with the yellow. Just wonder if I didn't shake it well enough and the pigment and the binders have split a bit more than, or something. It's actually really nice colour, that yellow. Okay, what else do we need to try over the top of it? Some near colour? Periwinkle blue. It goes over quite nicely. We'll try it wet in a minute. That combination's lovely, isn't it? A bit of water. Just, it's almost gone a bit gritty. I don't know if that's just where I've worked it so hard on the paper. Get the binder out. I don't know. But it all seems to work, and it's not lifting the colour up. I mean, it's not meant to, but they were so cheap. You never really know, you know, if it's going to work. Is there anything else you want to try over the top of it? Let's try some King Art gel sticks, and then I think that's all of my toys. Haven't really got any shades of these that would work, but we'll go with what we've got. They pretty much just cover it up, don't they? But right, I'm going to leave these to dry so we can properly look at them. We'll look at them at the end after I've swatched out these watercolours. Okay, so we're going to use the Fabriano Torchon Extra Rough, 25% cotton. I have used this one before. I don't know that I loved it. I didn't really love it, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm going to try and be as careful as I can because I want to be able to reuse these. So we're going to start, I'm going to go right to left as I usually do because I'm a lefty and I make a mess and drag my hand through the wet paint. So we're going to start with the Cobalt Violet hue. I've gone a bit heavy on the water. It's quite an interesting colour. Right, Manganese Violet. That's quite a pretty colour. Again, I'm not sure. I might have gone in a bit heavy on the water, or I'm just not leaving it long enough to reactivate. Perylene Violet. I've not got anything like this. Ooh, now that, my friends, is a very sexy colour. That's pretty. And I don't have anything like that at the moment. Did I mention that Jackson's has got a sale on? That's one of the reasons I wanted to swatch out all my paints properly and put them in order so that I can see if I have any gaps. But I can tell you already I haven't got one like that, and I might have to get myself one. I feel like I'm not giving this one any love now because that one's taken over. So this one is mahogany brown, and then we've got Potter's pink. So that's quite interesting because I've only just tried my first Potter's pink. That's nice as well. Which Potter's pink have I got? Let's find. You know what I need to do? I really need to label. I need to label up my paints so I know which are which. I've got the Roman Small Potter's pink, and it doesn't look that different to it. I've got a tiny bit of paper here. Let's try them out together. This one's the Schmincke. Just going to pop a little bit more of this on. I feel like the Schmincke one's got a little bit more sort of purple in it, maybe. I'll just let them dry. Okay, quinacridone gold hue is our next one. And that is glorious. I'll try that with my other two in a minute. Oh, I've actually got 3 other ones. So this one's the Schmincke. Then we got, just wet these ones, 1, 2. My favourite one currently is the Roman Small one, but let's try them out for size. In fact, I'm going to go with the Rosa one here because I know that that's already different. The Rosa one isn't my favourite. It's actually quite a bit lighter than the Roman Small. And then I've got a Winsor Newton one as well. It's probably more similar to the Winsor Newton. Okay, let's leave those to dry. I'm loving this mahogany now. That's drying with like a pinkiness to it. Where I got distracted, didn't I? That's not like me at all. Yellow, no, olive green, yellowish. That is delicious. Yeah, that's lovely. This wasn't meant to be a comparison video, but now I'm just going to do that. This is the Winsor Newton Permanent Sap. I'm not sure if it's probably a combination of this, actually that's quite a lot greener, and the Winsor Newton Green Gold. It's like a halfway house. Where are my Da Vinci's? I'll just try the Da Vinci Green Gold, which is a little bit greener than the Winsor Newton one. Well, I haven't got anything like it. Who knew? Goodness me. I do not need more paints. But how delicious are they together? That is really nice. Okay, cobalt turquoise. That is so vivid. I have got a turquoise already, which is the Rosa Gallery one, and that is a cobalt turquoise, so while we're playing we might as well. This was meant to be a super quick video, by the way, and it's already not. I think I've probably got a bit more paint on here. Yeah, that's not that different, is it? Not that I could justify buying another one. It's slightly greener, but there's not masses in it. But I will stop. In fact, I won't need to do that with the super granulator because I haven't got any granulating paints. Because in my head I don't like them, but let's see. Now I do know you need to give them space and water, so I might swatch these slightly bigger and put a bit more water on them. Oh, look at that. That is interesting. It's got like purple in it. Forest blue is next. Now that is a lovely colour, but I'm not sure I'm going to like it when it granulates, but let's see what happens. Deep sea green. Oops, I've just put some forest blue on it. I really like this colour, this forest blue. That's really interesting. What's next? Haze indigo. Now, I love an indigo, so and haze pink is next. This is an interesting looking colour. These are all pretty spectacular, I'm not going to lie. This one's gone a bit weird, I'm not sure I'm loving that. This one is haze black. Haze brown. And haze blue. Doing so well. Not being messy, and now I'm a bit messy. That is really interesting as well. Oh, look at that. Look at the state of me. Right. I'm going to let those dry and then we'll come back and talk. Okay, let's have a little look-see. So they've all dried now. They are slightly different on this paper. This is offcuts of something, so the colours have come out slightly different. But doing these has made me really excited for doing the proper cards that I'm going to do probably over the weekend, actually, because I have ordered some cards, so that's, yeah, quite exciting. So I've enjoyed doing that. I think I might be purchasing some more colours, which is probably unnecessary, but you know, I'm probably going to do it anyway. Right, I'm turning the light on because I've had to shut the door and it's got a bit dark. So let's have a little look at these. I like the Potter's Pink. It's not that dissimilar to what I've already got, so I don't need to worry about that. You all know I'm getting this because this is delicious. Peroline Violet, and I'll have a look at the Mahogany Brown. I might get that as well. I also really like this olive greenish yellowish. Like the Queen Gold, but I have got the Winsor Newton one, which is still going, and I probably don't need another one. I don't use a lot of purples, so I shan't do anything with that. I like the way the Cobalt, he's done it on here as well, has granulated. So it is slightly different to this, the Rosa Gallery one. The Rosa Gallery one just feels a bit more opaque. But I don't need it. Although I'd probably be tempted to go for that next time instead of the Rosa one, because it's quite interesting. The problem is I quite like them in swatches, but when I'm painting an image, I also quite like solid flat colours and don't always like the granulation as much. So yeah. This Glacier Green is really interesting, but I can't see a world where I'd use it. On the other hand, the Forest Blue and the Deep Sea Green are just lovely, and I could see them being helpful, as is this. Actually, all of these are lovely. Oh my goodness, I don't need them. Anyway, they are lovely, but I don't need them. I might have a look and see how much these are. I don't know how often I'd use them though. I'll have a think. That turned into a long one. Sorry about that. What do you think about these? I'm really impressed with them. They've dried really matte. Maybe a little bit more transparent than I would like. But I will be working over them, and they are so cheap compared to, you know, to their buddies. So I think for what I'm going to be using for, which is sketchbook stuff, they're going to be great. Really pleased with them, and I'm excited to see what I'm going to create using them. And then we've got the dot card from Wendy with the Schmincke's on, which have been really nice to use as well. So my bank is probably going to take a hammering, but you know, I have saved some money on cheap pens, haven't I? I am going to leave you be. Let me know in the comments, have you got a favourite type of watercolour, and have you tried the Schmincke ones? Would you be interested, if you're not a serial killer, in me setting up some kind of dot card exchange? Let me know if you are. Pop it in the comments. Don't leave your personal details there though, because there might actually be serial killers out there, and you know, it's nicer if we manage it and keep it slightly more safe. So send me a message if you're interested. And what else have we got to say? I don't think there's anything else to say. Sorry, this one went on a lot longer than anticipated. It was meant to be a quickie. It was not, because I got distracted. But I'm very excited for the weekend. I'm going to go and buy some stuff that I don't need. And then, yeah, that's it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm off to go and buy something I don't need. Have a lovely week, and I will see you soon. Bye.